Hi everybody, my name is Sarah. Pearls of Wisdom and Food, just back from my walk. Gonna get ready for my day. It's a good one already. I did my little 4 miles. I loved it. And I listened to Dr. Jason Fung for the whole walk, and he's the one that just came out with the obesity code, and that's what I've been reading. And so I was listening to his podcasts. He was in Vail in 2016 and did a series of his videos on obesity, and he believes and proves time and time again that insulin is the cause of weight gain. And I'm not sure if he coined it or not, but he says it a lot. Being fat isn't because of overeating. It's being fat that causes you to overeat, which takes a while for it to sink in and how he does it. So anyway, he goes on and on and on about the insulin spikes and this and that. And so I came home and I Googled, how not to have insulin spikes. And I found a few, of those little 7 tips and things like that. So it's not the blood sugar, it's the insulin spikes. And he said, and he went through tribe after tribe after tribe of these people that had absolutely no problems, even a high carbohydrate diet, because it was unrefined carbohydrates. And as soon as the Western diet, also known as the whites diet, were introduced into these tribes, they began to gain weight. The Western civilization foods began to come in, and the more trading posts that were set up were filled with flour and sugar. And they began to gain weight and then also get diseases that we are very familiar here with in America, and all due to the Western diet. And these diseases are heart disease and strokes and Alzheimer's and cancer and obesity and diabetes, for starters. And what do they come from? They come from the refined carbohydrates. What is a refined carbohydrate? It is a processed food, most likely flour or sugar or both. And when he was talking about all these different tribes, he was talking about how they had those that had a high-fat diet, like a lot of coconut and things like that, they were bored with that once they were introduced to flour and other sugar, white sugar. And so herein lies the rub. And so anyway, I got to one little blurb in his book, and he was talking about snacking. And I loved how he wrote it. It was so succinct and economized, and it was just one little paragraph, but he was talking about snacking, and he was talking about your body being given a chance not to always be working on digesting something. And he said, there's no good way to snack. We don't need to. 3 meals a day. I have 2. But he said, no more than 3 meals a day. Do not keep snacking. And he said, this is what I have to say about snacking, or something like this. No snacking, anytime, ever, period. And I love that, because, yes, I believe in that as well. And I used to be a grazer, and thinking that if I had my coal furnace, that shoveling a shovelful, throughout the day, snack, meal, graze, that would be good. It would just keep it chugging along. And interesting, I had a home 30, 40 years ago, and it was heated by coal stoves. And so I had 2 coal stoves, actually 3, one in the basement to heat the floors, and then one at one end of the house and one at the other. And I filled them twice a day with a hod of coal. And I'm laughing because I forgot all about that part. And if you added more coal onto an existing fire that hadn't been shaken down and the ashes removed and all that kind of stuff, then you just smoldered it. And so I guess our bodies operate the same way. So I would clean it out, shake down the ashes, and then add another hod of coal. I would do that 2 times a day to the 3 stoves. And it worked, and the house was heated beautifully. And if I look at that as, a body, yeah, 2 really good meals a day suits me just fine. Some people need that third, and that's okay. I have my bulletproof latte, and that gets me through the morning part. And to tell you the truth, I'm still kind of a foodie, where my foodie, Ms. Slick, will tell me as soon as I start eating that it's hungry. And it's a very powerful addiction that I have. So I have to, going as long as I can from just the bulletproof coffee, which is filled with fats, so it's good, and then waiting till 11 or noon to have my first meal suits me just fine. And then I go the 5 hours before the second meal, and that's all good. But he doesn't believe in snacking, and there's so many other things that he doesn't believe in. But changing my head around yet again to it's the insulin, not the blood sugar. It's the insulin that makes us obese, and all the dynamics that go along with it, and how the metabolism just slows down. So you're eating less, and so you're burning less, and how, calories in, calories out doesn't work. It's the refined carbs, he says it all the time. It's the flours, it's the sugars. And so I know that he will also talk about artificial sugars too, being a big no-no. But learning how to live without artificial sugars, regular table sugar, and grains and flours is key. And it takes a long, long time. And if your body has been in the woods with the standard American diet, that Western diet of lots of carbs, lots of, not a lot of fat, lots of carbs that are refined, lots of processed foods, it's going to take some while to get your body fat adapted and used to not having all that stuff. And you can't have just, for me, eating grains is like me being an alcoholic. There is no safe little amount that I could have. You wouldn't tell somebody with diabetes not to take their medicine for what they have any more than you would tell an alcoholic, that you could drink in safety. And I can't eat wheat or other grains in safety. My body lights up like a firework display, and it wants more and more. And so it just becomes a body, mind, physical, spiritual experience when I get into those places where I'm in a food coma from having all the refined carbohydrates. It happened every time. Food coma, ha ha ha. I ate 6 pieces of pizza, ha ha ha. Well, yeah, it was a large pizza. What, a small pizza? I would eat the small pizza, the whole small pizza, and then it would be time for my date with Ben and Jerry, right? I can't do that anymore. My body's, it's not only old, but it's fat adapted, and so I am not going to veer off my path. I'm not the alcoholic that thinks I can drink on weekends and be okay. I saw it on another site where somebody was writing, I do well Monday through Friday, and then I go crazy. It was a Weight Watcher site. And it's like, and they're having grains and refined carbs and sugar because they're having the Weight Watcher food plan, which will initially have you lose weight because you're undoing probably a lot of bad habits that you had before. But it is not sustainable for most of us. I'm not saying everybody, because some people do quite well with it. And they can have a balanced diet of carbs, including grains and sugar. But I'm not one of them. And so I had to give up the grains, I had to give up the sugar, and that probably helps with the insulin. And I'm learning more and more about it with the obesity code, but it's the insulin. So it's a whole new way of thinking about things. It's undoing everything they want you to know. Trust me on that. Those big food manufacturers, they don't care. And then that's not a news flash, but they don't care what you eat. They want you to eat their product. Why? So they can fly in their great big jets, private jets, over my head to Nantucket, to their gazillion $1 million home, and stay there for a month, or at least, the family will, while they're coming up with new ways to keep you addicted to Doritos. Trust me on this. Have a wonderful day. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food. Here we are. Bye-bye for now.